All right, belt questions and belt tightening come up a lot on all the printers, V zeros, all of them, right? V2, VT. So to start, there's two types of racking you can get. You can get a racking where you're mechanically not square, right? So that's this thing right here is cattywampus to the Y extrusions. The other kind of racking you can get is belt induced. To check both is basically the same thing. You'd bring it to the front and you, if I can do this, you hold one side and then you see if the other side, if the other side bounces, right? So what would happen is it would go bounce, you'd hit it and it bounced back. If you have that without the belts on, you're mechanically racked. If you have it with the belts on, you have belt-induced racking, which happens basically from tightening one all the way up, and then you tighten the other one. So what a lot of people did when I did initially is I'd, tighten one up and go ding, 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 till the app or whatever said it was 110 hertz or 115, whatever it is. And then I switch over to the other one. Well, these belts, A and B, are coupled together. So if I tighten this guy, if I move this guy forward, and the tension's really off, right? So say they're loose, I tighten this guy forward, this guy is going to move backward. So you're going to start getting something like this, right? You're going to get a shape where the axis goes like this. So the key to belt tensioning through several trials and errors is small adjustments on each one opposite ways. So you're going to tighten this guy. We'll just call this a nub or whatever. You're going to tighten it like one nub here, one nub here, one. You're just going to keep going back and forth. And every so often, check one, check the other one, right? And if you see that one's like 108 and this one's like 100, you need to tighten this guy up. And sometimes it takes a couple times to do this, right? So it's really kind of sometimes upsetting, but you got to loosen them up, do them again. So don't just tighten one and then tighten the other. And what you'll see in the graph is you'll see like one really perfect and one kind of like this, right? So what it's telling you, and if you're saying, if one says that all the belts are at 110 and you have this graph where one's really high and one's kind of low, what you've done is you've done belt-induced racking. And the reason you're getting one really low is because one belt has a longer distance than the other belt, right? So you may have 150 here, but because you've got belt-induced racking, you may have like 107, 108 here. It's going to have a different frequency, and that's probably because you have either you haven't done it correctly in one move forward, or you did too much. So you might have even done it correctly, but you moved one too much, right? So this is a really tiny printer, small movements on everything, right? And what you should find, if it's done correctly, that you should have proper tension with the belts and the bolts in the exact same position. Because if they're the same length and you have the same number of teeth on each side coming out before you cut them, it should be perfect. And if you're not racked mechanically, everything should be square, right? Because if you're racked mechanically, you're obviously not square. So there we go. There's some